It's one of our biggest bugbears, mountains of unwanted messages and posts arriving through our letterboxes and inboxes every day.
So just how can you put a stop to it? Well, Martin's here with some spam-busting tips, guaranteed to lighten your load. Let's start off with those nuisance phone calls.
Yeah, so lots of people get phone calls they don't want, and it's very difficult to stop them, and it drives people up the wall. Now, the way that you stop this, the official way, is the telephone preference service. Many people will know about that on their landlines. 83% of people have signed up to it. So you sign up to it, you can do it online, and you can call them on your landline, and then it takes 28 days to activate. After that, it's a criminal offence for legitimate EU companies to get in touch with you if you haven't requested that they do so. What most people don't do, though, is sign their mobiles up. Only 3% of people sign their mobiles up. So a few weeks ago, they launched a new number that you could text. Now, the first one they launched charged people when it shouldn't. So there's another one now that is meant to be totally free. Let me know if you do get charged for it. You shouldn't be. If you are charged, it's going to be 12p. So let's not go overboard on this type thing. And that number is 85095. And you add TPS, just those letters, and then your email address, because they need to legitimise that it is you. And then your mobile number will be on the telephone preference service too. But note what I said, legitimate EU companies. That means companies from outside the EU can call you, and that means scammers from inside the EU will call you.
And as in 2 years' time, everyone can call you.
Well, we're not sure what will happen yet on that. We don't know where we'll go. I suspect you're right. That would be my guess on that. But there's a couple of things you have to understand. First of all, if some scammer gets your number, and once you're on their database, they're going to keep calling you if they don't care about the TPS, and that will feel like the TPS isn't working. The other thing, and this is what people find, you know, you do those online forms and it says tick here if you want to opt out, but one might say tick here if you want to opt out, and the one underneath it will say tick here if you want to opt in, and the next one will... So they make it very confusing. Yes. If you tick one of those boxes, then you've given them permission to get in touch with you if you're on the TPS. So many people say, how come this company's getting in touch with me? I'm on the TPS. Because you ticked a box, and you might have thought you were ticking a box to say no when you ticked a box to say yes. So you've got to be careful on those. But if someone calls you and you're on the TPS, you're on the telephone preference service, you say, I'm a member of the telephone preference service, you shouldn't be calling me. And legitimate companies will go away.
That works for text as well, I'm assuming.
Text is somewhat different because, OK, the first warning on text, this gets really confusing. If a legitimate company texts you and you don't want the text, you text back stop, and that should stop them. If an illegitimate spammer texts you, texting back stop tells them that you're a real mobile phone number and will often mean you get more spam, not less. So legit companies, you want to text stop. Illegitimate companies, you don't want to text stop. And if you don't know the company, you've got to assume it's illegitimate. So if you get a spam text, this is the number to remember. 7726. It spells spam on most alphanumeric keyboards. 7726. Forward your spam text to that with the phone number that called you. What that does is it goes into a database, and enough people forward the numbers, then they get blocked. So we all have to act together to stop this, but also then block that number on your mobile phone, and if one is continuing to pester you, get in touch with the Information Commissioner and he'll look at it specifically. But we've all got to forward to 7726. Don't reply stop to illegitimate companies or companies you don't know.
We'll put all these numbers on the website.
Yeah.
Yeah. So